I want to start with the Oscar situation because it's been how many days since the Oscars? About
5,
5 days.
4, yeah, 5 days since Sunday.
And I get on, and I love watching The View, but damn, when they have an opinion that I don't agree with, and they just jam that shit every damn day, I'm like, what are we doing? And then it's not even just them. It's like literally every day of the week, people's like, oh my God. So the travesty that happened at the Oscars when Will Smith puts his hands on this shit is crazy. And I think
Get out of my bowl.
I'm not sure where you stand, but I think I am kind of sure where you stand with this. But I believe we have the same opinion. Now, in the past, actually, no, let's just get into it. So for those who've been under a rock, as you know, at the Oscars, some shit went down. Will Smith smacked the crap out of Chris Rock for making a tasteless joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's hair. For those who don't know, she was battling with alopecia, and she did not care for that joke too much. So that's what ushered Will to get up and smack Chris Rock. Okay. Now this sent the internet on fire the entire week, and in the entire week there was so many unwanted opinions and these psychological evaluators from non-doctors. I mean, for real, like people really had a lot to say. Like people was like, oh, we got to look at the childhood, all this other bullshit. I'm like, what's going on? It's crazy. What was your initial thoughts though, Derek?
My initial reaction was the same as Chris Rock's. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. And at first watching it live, I was like, okay, well, was this real or not? Was this real or not real? And then once we discovered that this was real, I was like, oh, this is real. So I was torn before I made my assessment. I feel like there's so many different layers. There's so many different things happening at once in this incident. It's a great lesson for everybody. I think that, first of all, just dissecting the situation. Comedians make jokes. Will has been in comedies, in movies. He was in a sitcom. He spent 6 seasons making short jokes about the Carlton character or Alfonso Rivera, right?
Yeah.
But we're in a time where sensitivities are a little higher. We're expecting more emotional intelligence. And Jada has been very open about her alopecia journey or struggle with it. It's an autoimmune disease. It's not life-threatening. But everybody knows a woman's hair is her crown. I mean, the Crown Act just passed like 2 weeks ago, right? About, the policing of Black women's hair. Chris Rock made a whole documentary called Good Hair because he didn't want his daughter to feel a way about her hair and to be be empowered by her hair. And then he got his ass there and made that tacky joke. So some people are like, well, it was just a joke. It's just a joke. They should have just laughed and kept it moving. It's like, yeah, that was an option.
Sure, not that was an option.
But also with the whole G.I. Jane thing, what people are missing is they're like, oh, he was trying to compliment her. That was not a compliment. Saying G.I. Jane, what the whole point of it was not to be a compliment. The jokes, none of the jokes were complimentary. They're tongue-in-cheek jokes. And it's unfortunately his tongue had to match his cheek. The G.I. Jane joke is because yes, Demi had a banging body, she's beautiful, we get all that stuff, but she was bald and she cheated on her husband. So there was more to that joke than it just being about, oh, he's just complimenting her. Why would he have to do that? It was so random. What would be the point? Nobody's checking for G.I. Jane. That movie ain't coming out. So there wasn't anything complimentary about what he said. And I think that even though Will was laughing, they got the clip where Will was laughing. They said, oh, Will was laughing at first. Well, he was laughing at the series of jokes that happened before then. When he got to his wife about the G.I. Jane joke, he realized, he looked at his wife and saw that she wasn't impressed by the joke. She didn't like it. And he was like, I'm fed up. I'm fed up because now my wife is in a room full of her peers on this live broadcast in front of the world. And this man got up here and literally disrespected and insulted my wife in my face. Enough is enough.
Yeah. And I think definitely Chris Rock was the straw that broke the camel's back, because Jada Pinkett Smith has been under scrutiny for a minute. Ever since the entanglement issue situation, a lot of things that they attacked Jada on. And I think that was the last straw for Will.
Right.
And he was right. He was in front row, and he was seen him right there. Like, let me walk up on this day, because you know they were in a smaller auditorium, so easy access.
They were in Dolby. They ain't small.
Huh?
Dolby ain't small.
Well, I guess he was just real close.
They were in the front. Yeah, he had front row seat.
But I mean, it was crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, here's my thing. I'm always on the forefront. You know me. I'm always on the forefront of nonviolence. However, in this instance too, because I'm also always Will gets away with everything. But in this instance, I think he was ethically wrong. Ethically, because okay, it's illegal to hit somebody. It's, you know, to assault somebody. Morally, no, he was defending his man. He was defending his wife. Period. And at the end of the day, you know, people's like, oh, well, he's just doing that because, Jada cheated, and this, that, and the third. And they're saying that they are.
You see how they turned it back on her? How they turned it back on him? This man.
So many people saying that.
This grown ass man made a decision, but somehow it falls back on the black woman. Like, what? Y'all are sick.
It makes no sense. And then they were saying, oh, people on TikTok, there was this one dude saying on TikTok, it was like, oh, well, I feel like as a woman, she should have got up and stopped him. I'm like, what? Now we turning it back on Jada, and this is what I'm talking about. Jada has been she's been the butt of everybody's joke. She's been the one that's been attacked. Go on Facebook. I actually stopped posting. I actually deleted Facebook, and I just post on the fan page, like us on Facebook, the Darren Green Show. But you know, I could just tell they was just coming for. I can tell they probably had been post after post after post after post coming for Jada Pickett. So I mean, I'm with Will with whatever went down, whether he was just going to be like, whether he was just going to slap him, or, you know, say, you know, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. Now, my only thing, and this is where we get to the responses, right? Wish it didn't happen, only because it opened the space for a lot of these yeasty eddies to make these damn think pieces and all these types of bull crap, saying, oh my God, you know. Look at the lineup that I got on the notes. I mean, like Jim Carrey talking about he would sue him for $200 million. What's his name? The one that shot that person on set. He talking about oh my goodness, like this is the Jerry Springer show. Like, we know what that means. Yeah, Alec Baldwin. I'm like, and then they had the clip of Nene. He was like, but didn't you choke someone? Did you get that on camera?
Ooh.
I mean, Amy Schumer and Wanda Sykes talk about how they were so traumatized. They were so traumatized, but right after the situation happened, they were
made jokes about it.
Making jokes.
I think all of that's fake. I think that Hollywood, a lot of them are pressured to put a stance so that their just to appease their own fan bases. Like, how do you feel about this? Why didn't you say anything? Why aren't you speaking up for women? Why aren't you speaking up against violence? Like, why? But my thing is, where was all this energy on January 6th? Where were all these celebrities that have all these ideas and all this, nonviolence, and no, we should be better than that, and all this stuff, when all of those peace people stormed the Capitol and we're talking about hanging the vice president? Where were all these think pieces and opinions then? Where were they? Where were they? Shut up. You want to participate in the crucifixion of a black man who in a moment acted out of, acted out of impulse. And I think that even him staying and apologizing to the Academy and for people seeing that, like him having his own moment of correction while also issuing a moment of correction for Chris Rock, because it's not the first time that Chris Rock's made a joke at Jada's expense, right? Jada wasn't even at the Oscars in 2016 when Chris Rock made a joke about her and Will not coming. And it's just like, you're supposed to be our friend. Like, what is the point here? Like, I think Will was just fed up. And I feel like people need to be honest. Like, yes, not violence. People say violence isn't the answer. Y'all are lying. We're American. Our country was founded on violence. Okay? Like, we literally had to. First of all, y'all so traumatized by seeing Will Smith slap Chris Rock. Bitch, we done lived through seeing 2 full ass planes of people fly into buildings. Okay,
That's how they acting like. They acting like they
in
see.
real life, we've seen people jumping out of buildings. We've had to watch trials of these Peach People's kids shooting up schools.
Mm-hmm. And not to mention, a lot of these actors that are saying, "Oh my god, like this is so bad," y'all play these god awful parts of these characters doing the craziest shit.
Right.
Okay, do you see what's on television right now? Do you see what's in movies?
Right, for entertainment. You watch it for entertainment, but when you see it in real life, it's just too much.
It's like, oh my
my god. No, you're not. You're trying to center it around you. Shut your ass up. This ain't nothing to do with you.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what social media just does right now. I feel like this is the toxic side of social media, because now it's all about, okay, now we want to get every celebrity, every who's opinions on it. We don't care about your damn opinions. Y'all not traumatized by this shit. You're it's just people just jumping on the bandwagon, for the comedians, okay, for the comedians, I'm trying to be as
there's a freedom of speech. There's freedom of speech, but I also looked at it like this. I think I said this on Facebook or maybe on Instagram. I can't remember which one it was, but I looked at it like this. Take this whole scenario, take the morality out of it. You got a king and a queen sitting on their throne, right? And there's a jester in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
The jester's there to entertain.
Mm-hmm.
If the jester fails to entertain the king or the queen, he gets carried out.
Yep.
Right? So in this instance, because Will Smith was the king of the night, like that was his night.
Yeah.
Everybody knew it. You know what I mean? We all knew it. Will Smith was the king of the night. For Chris could have came out and did his bit and left Jada out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Completely, right?
Yeah, because it wasn't
he made a joke. The queen didn't find it funny.
Yeah.
Nobody has to go home with the queen but the king. Okay. So now you switch the mood of my wife. They're on the biggest night of my life, of my career.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you intended well or not, you just disrespected my wife. She feels disrespected. She feels humiliated. I'm gonna check you. This is man law. I don't care about what they talking about. Oh, that's assault. Okay. Man law is you don't disrespect people's wives, especially not in their presence.
Yeah.
What is wrong with y'all? Who raised y'all?
Yes.
Do you think that if Beyonce was open about dealing with alopecia, and she decided to come, she starts rocking her hair bald for 2 years or whatever, and it's the Grammys, right? You think somebody gonna get on that stage and make a joke? Now they made elevated jokes, blah blah blah. They never did in their presence, right?
Not elevated
jokes, right? But you gonna get in front of Jay-Z and Beyonce and make a joke about her being bald headed? Or you gonna make a joke about her having miscarriages? And think you're not gonna get checked right in that moment? Are you crazy? Y'all are not real. Y'all are delusional. You detach yourself away from reality, because that is not how this works. That is regardless of how people feel about Jada and Will's marriage, just because they were exposed or they shared about the open marriage, and yes, we know about indiscretions. Jada had an entanglement. Will did too. Multiple of them. I mean, multiple.
What gets me about that whole situation, and I watched the green room chat with the Grapevine. Shout out to the Grapevine. One person said in there that was very interesting was like, you know, when it comes, because this is when it gets to the black community, because the black community and the white community kind of were aligned this week about reprimanding Will. Anytime that there's black people that reside outside of societal norms, you get what I'm saying, because they have an open relationship, and I know you said people said cheating. I know you don't. They said that it was never infidelity. They knew everything that happened. They knew, okay, hey, I'm doing this person today, you do that person next. This is an open marriage. So anytime that there's something that there's a different lifestyle, everybody always wants to be on the attack. And I think at some point, okay, we get it. You're celebrities. We put our information out there. We put our lives out there. But it does get tiring. Okay, it gets tiring. And sometimes we act impulsive when certain things are said in the heat of the moment. Would have been appropriate if this would have happened behind the scenes, for the sake of,
But it still wouldn't have been appropriate, because even if the story would have broke that Will Smith and Chris Rock got into it backstage after that joke, it still would have been a thing about, oh my God, Will is so violent. Oh my God, I can't believe it. People still would have clutched their purse. So whether it happened in front of the cameras or behind the scenes, it was gonna happen.
And see, the crazier
there was gonna
part
be
too,
a moment of reckoning for it, right?
the crazier part too, they would have, if Will would have did nothing, they would have got into him. They were like, oh, he laughing while clearly Jada has a problem because you've seen it in her face. I'm like, so it would have been a lose-lose.
Everybody. Right. Yeah. We can't please everybody. So you might as well get your one off. He did what he did. Now, now people talking about taking his Oscar back. I'm like, are you going to take back all the Oscars from these Harvey Weinstein produced movies?
Come on.
You going to take those 80 Oscars back?
And are you going to stop streaming R. Kelly?
You going to take Kevin Spacey's Oscar back?
We going to stop. Look, let me tell you something. We got to keep that same energy.
And they're not.
That same energy.
Right. And then they lied about saying that, oh, it's crazy to see the Academy try to cover their ass. Oh, we asked Will to leave after the incident. No, you didn't. Because first of all, I've been in LA. I went to the Emmys. I know how security works in those particular spaces in live televised events. Baby, security was on both sides of that stage. If y'all wanted Will Smith out of there, he would have been out of there.
And they getting fired too, because y'all let that shit go down. Ain't nobody stopping.
It's Will Smith. It's his party.
Child.
It's his party.
It was crazy.
Like the people are blind. Okay, like the people are lost. This is Will Smith's party. Every year there's who the front runners are. Like it's his party. And there was a joke that was made that was insulting to his wife. Okay, now do I believe that he had to go to the extreme putting his hands on this man? No, I think that it could have been handled differently. But does that
if
mean
he would
that
have just said keep my wife's name out your FM? I think
he would have got the picture. He had to say nothing. I think they both could have just sat there and unamused, just not laughing.
Paid it,
right? They could just paid it, won his Oscar, and gone about his business, and this wouldn't have been a thing. It wouldn't have been overshadowing all the other wins and magical moments of the night, like Lady Gaga with Liza Minnelli, or the fact that Samuel L. Jackson got his award the night before at the Governor's Ball. He finally got an Oscar. Or there was so much that was happening.
Yeah.
And I feel, and another thing I've noticed is it's interesting to me how the media monetizes and capitalizes off of Black trauma, quote unquote, or Black drama. Because the Will Smith thing didn't have to be an incident we talk about for the next week,
and
2 weeks. It didn't have to be.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying, because first of all, so I've been watching The View, and like I started off by saying that what I felt was very interesting, because I seen their episode today where they had Chelsea Clinton, and they talked about how Will Smith's situation, it really took over the whole thing. Now no one's going to remember about the Oscars, and then she was the one, I'm paraphrasing, well, isn't the onus on us as the media to try to remind people what had happened that day, other than the drama situation? And everybody in there was like, well, I just feel it was crazy. Even people like Sunny Holston, I love her, but to call this situation toxic masculinity, we got to stop misusing words, especially that term, because I feel like people already don't believe that it's true, that there is a toxic masculinity, and you're misusing it. I don't understand what people.
Well, it can't. But she's not wrong in the sense that that men are, especially Black men, are naturally viewed as aggressive, and that we don't process emotions well, which can trigger violence, right? So she's not wrong that it can be a toxic trait when it comes to masculinity. But I do believe that the narrative right now about Black men in general, or people talking about, this is ghetto, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait a minute. I know y'all not talking. Not the creamsicle people. Because if that was two translucent folks up there, then it would have just been, oh, he hit such and such. We'd have laughed it off like, look, these people crazy, and moved on about our business. But I feel like a lot of the conversation, especially from the Black community, is you don't care about Will slapping Chris Rock, because we've done that in family gatherings with our cousins for talking about our mama before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's be real about the situation.
It's that white gaze.
It's the right. What are the white people going to think about us now? We're never going to get another Oscar. Like, is that what you believe? You believe that Will Smith slapping this man is going to stop Black actors from getting roles? It's going to stop Black actors from getting celebrated for their gifts because he made a choice for himself? Y'all got to stop thinking like that. It doesn't work like that. It only works like that if you feed into it. No, that's not the case. And you're damn right we're still going to demand everything that's coming to us. This was probably the best Oscars we've ever had. Shout out to Will Packer, right?
Yeah.
And let's talk about something else.
He talked about it. He talked about it because they did an interview with him, and they were saying like, oh, well, you know, the cops were called, LAPD was called, and he had no idea what was going on. They were ready to arrest him. That would have been, yeah. And then that's when they said Chris did not want that to happen. That would have been a bad look for the Oscars. If they would have sat there and detained that man, and you know, it would have been on camera. You know, some shady ass, get this on camera, child.
But either way, like, so this is my positive takeaway. Like, in the midst of this, looking for the positive outcome, I feel like there's been many discussions about it. There are a lot of agreeing to disagrees that's happening because we all have our own opinions. Some of the men expose themselves as undeserving of wives because you can't protect your family. Like, I don't care. I'm not even married, right? But I know how I am about my partner, and I know how my partner better be about me. I'm gonna step. Yeah. Now, don't play with my partner. Don't play with my partner because you won't play with me. And I feel the same way about like my mom, my sister, and some of my female cousins. It's like, listen, if we keep talking about protect Black women, how y'all get mad when y'all see a Black man protect her? If it had been Ashton Kutcher, had Jada been with Ashton Kutcher and he went up there and slapped Chris Rock, Ashton Kutcher would have been a hero for taking up for Black women.
Okay,
he'd have been a hero, celebrated. Okay, doing the work, moving the agenda forward, all the things.
The way the narrative changed when I saw
people don't want to see Black men actually take up that space. And I also want to shout out to Chris Rock because he's been silent. Thought he made a statement, but he didn't. But since the Oscars, like he's on tour right now. His ticket prices were like $46. His ticket prices have surged to a minimum of $341.
This was a win-win situation. You get what I'm saying? And I think Chris Rock he said he's still processing it. He's probably trying to find a way to, you know, let me write this into a comedy thing. You know, it's gonna bring people. This is not like at the end of the day, like.
And we're just waiting on the promo for the Red Table Talk to come out.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that, child. You already know. It's gonna be crazy.
Jada gives us great TV. That's all I can say. Even if she sit back.
People talking about this shit, and then they got skeletons in their closet. Now, did you hear Zoe Kravitz talk about this shit?
Girl, I don't care about her.
It's very bourgeois, and I liked her because she played black. I said not black. She played Catwoman. Okay, I seen the Batman movie. It was a good movie. And you said all that. She sound real bougie. You know what she was giving?
You will not bring your ghetto here.
It was given very much Kristen Walker. You will not bring your ghetto here. And they caught her ass because they got her in an op-ed talking about how she was like freaking fanning off of fucking Jaden Smith when he was 14 and she was 24. Like, girl, let's not do this. Let's really not do this.
Right. I think her disassociation from her Blackness and just trying to be I get how some of these people like I'm more than just that.
I know Denise ain't teach you that. That's Denise though.
Right. But she's a second generation. Well, was she considered a quadroon? Because both her parents are mixed. So I think that the identity politics at play, there was an article that she did where she was like, you know, she doesn't want roles where she's the Black friend or she's the she was going on and on about something because she wants to be able to do more than just fill up that space for blackness. She even made a post on Instagram about I'm not more than a black artist, and go get me a black bag to get my black car and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, we get it, girl. You want to be more than black. We all just want to be human and seen for who we are in our spirit and move past the skin color and all that stuff. I get it. But you could have just sat there and ate your food. Yes. When she posted her dress, just post this ugly ass dress and going about your business. She made a caption talking about, this is me in a dress at that event where we're apparently assaulting people or something like that. I'm just like, girl, just eat your food.
You should have sat there and ate your damn, because look, let me tell you something. Me and my best friend was like, okay, girl, you doing that, you doing the thing, Catwoman, okay. Erica Kitt would be proud.
Yeah, all I said was, Zendaya, you better not say shit. Don't you say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't ask me nothing.
She ain't give a good goddamn. She probably was like, oh shit. Let's be clear. Not Miss Rue. Not Rue. It is crazy, but I'm gonna tell you this much. Grammys, the bars are set. The bars are up. Because that's happening this Sunday. What's going on with that?
Right. Hell, I'm scared. I got anxiety just thinking about it.
Ain't nobody gonna pop off. I think now every award show known to man, it's gonna be heavily secured. It's gonna be some changes. I'm telling you. And I mean, I guess whatever. It happened. I think people need to get over it. I think after this week, if I hear something else about this goddamn story, I'm gonna go crazy. I wasn't even gonna talk about it because I was like, okay, yeah, it's probably gonna be like a Monday thing, and then Monday or Tuesday, people still talking about everybody. And they got comedians scared, like, oh my god, like what if somebody comes and slaps me? You've always had hecklers.
Slap them back.
But comedians always had hecklers. There's people that threw shit at people. It was a lot. Look, we have freedom of speech, but you know, it comes with consequences. And nobody want to have that conversation. So on that note, we'll go ahead and move on.